Yo, what's good YouTube? Honchkrows here, aka Scoop, back with the World Showdown Series, Season 5, and we've got our week number 8 and our week number 9 battles here versus Rainbow Taco and Tony, respectively. So, in our first match here, I actually was in a little bit of a bind, you could say, and I actually wasn't able to build for this matchup, so I actually reached out in some of my Discord servers to see if anyone wanted to build for me, and I had one of my buddies build for me, and obviously I trust him a lot, so that wasn't an issue or anything like that. But yeah, I had Sebi VGC build for me, and he's got me a Tapu Lele here with the Wikiberry and Psychic Surge with a Modest Nature, 248 EVs in speed, so I top out at 288. With 96 EVs in special attack with a Modest Nature, so I top out at 252 special attack with 64 special defense EVs, 12 defense EVs, and 88 HP EVs. So very complex spread here. I like it a lot with Psyshock, Moonblast, Taunt, and the Nature's Madness. Nature's Madness obviously there for things like the Magearna, as you see on screen, and then Taunt can prevent Magearna from setting up, can prevent Kofag from setting up Toxic Spikes or a Trick Room, so on and so forth. But yeah, really solid mon in the matchup, and I expect it to do a little bit of work. So next up we've got Garchomp, which is a Stealth Rock Swords Dance variant with Earthquake and Outrage and the Dragonium Z, so that we can bop something with a +2 Devastating Drake, and then still have Outrage to lean on after that. We have an Adamant Garchomp with the same speed as Tapu Lele. Obviously takes less speed EV so that we have more to pass around in other areas here. We have 96 attack EVs, which is the same as Tapu Lele in special attack, and sets us at 252 attack, as well as Tapu Lele setting at 252 special attack. And we have 60 EVs in defense, 16 in special defense with 144 in HP. Very bulky, very offensive, especially with Swords Dance, and like I mentioned, our designated Stealth Rocker, which will obviously wear down his team, but specifically in this matchup beats down on the Moltres pretty nicely. Next up, we have Licky Licky, which is a max Spadef, max HP variant with Leftovers, Wish, Protect, and Earthquake with Toxic. Obviously, we're running the Oblivious ability so that we can't be taunted or anything like that. Earthquake is there for the Magearna. This is like a really solid check to Magearna, as long as we don't get burned by Moltres Flamethrower, or like, I guess that's just about, or like a Fire Punch from Hoopa Unveiled. Next up we have Fortress, which is going to be a Spike Setter with Gyro Ball, Rapid Spin, and Earthquake. Again, can take a hit from Magearna, bop it with the Earthquake, and it can take a hit from Nihilego, bop it with Earthquake or Gyro Ball. We're mixed defense, quite defensive though, with a defense boosting nature, but we do have 124 EVs in special defense, max HP, and 136 defense EVs with a relaxed nature, so that our Gyro Ball does the maximum amount of damage. We are the sturdy ability and have the Leftovers item, so that's pretty nice. And next up we have a Choice Band Sneasel with Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Pursuit, and we had to run max speed, Jolly max speed, max attack to speed tie with something on his squad. Forgot exactly what, but we can click Knockoff, Icicle Crash, Pursuit, and Ice Shard pretty freely in this matchup. I guess Mega Lopunny is a concern if we lock ourselves into like Knockoff or something like that, but otherwise in a pretty solid position. And we always have a way to revenge kill Sneasel, or excuse me, Mega Lopunny with our last Pokemon here, Mega Alakazam, enough speed to outpace the Mega Lopunny, max special attack with 64 EVs in defense, 56 EVs in HP, with Psyshock, Signal Beam, Hidden Power Fire, and Protect. This is a pretty solid set. He does have Hoopa, which is bopped with Signal Beam. He's got the Magearna, which is bopped by the Hidden Power Fire, and then Psyshock's going to do quite a bit to the rest of his team, especially with Psychic Terrain up, which also negates things like Fake Out and Quick Attack from Mega Lopunny. So Going into the matchup, I expected Magearna to be like a Shift Gear 3 attacks or Trick Room 3 attacks set. So that's something to keep in mind. But yeah, like I mentioned, my buddy Sebi built his team. I trust him a whole lot, so I didn't even calc or double check the squad or anything like that. Well, I did double check the squad, you know, check the genders, made sure the nicknames were correct and stuff, so on and so forth. But yeah, that's going to be it, and we can hop into the replay here and see what our opponent chooses to do here. So we're going to lead off with Garchomp, and we're going to decide to get our Stealth Rocks up. I didn't expect him to stay in here, because had I went straight for like my Z move or something, I would have knocked him out unless he's like Sash. But even so, if he's physical here and I would have brought him down to a Sash and he hit me, he would have fainted to the Rough Skin. So it'd be interesting to see what he goes for, as he goes for the Ice Punch and knocks us right out. So a little bit unfortunate there. We lose our Garchomp on turn 1, and it was a huge threat to his team, especially with a Swords Dance up, murking things like Magearna and being able to 2-hit KO things like Conkeldurrs after Stealth Rocks, and being able to outpace Moltres and take a hit from it pretty comfortably. So a little bit unfortunate there. I don't know if Stealth Rocks are actually worth it at this point, especially if he's got like Defog Moltres, or I guess that's just about his only way to remove hazards in this matchup specifically. Anyways, we're gonna go out into our Tapu Lele here, and we're gonna, you know, scare him out with Moonblast, or so I thought, and we're gonna go for the Nature's Madness, predicting the Magearna to come in, but he actually stays in. So now we're just going to quit playing around, and we're going to knock him out. He's shown us how he's going to play this matchup, so now we can kind of adjust a little bit here. We're going to hard switch out to Fortress on his return here. It bounces off. We are quite defensive here, and what we can do is set up a layer of spikes as he goes hard into his Moltres. So I did not think that he had Defog, and that's the reason I went for Spike here instead of like attacking or doubling out or something like that. I expected Moltres to be offensive Z move or something like that. I did not expect it to have Defog, so I went ahead and got a Spike up here, and I can hard switch out. But he is going to reveal Defog, which is a little bit unfortunate, and yeah, that sucks. I'd hate to see my hazards go after putting a little bit of effort into, you know, getting them up. So I am able to land a Toxic on the Moltres, and then I double Toxic, predicting the Conkeldurrs to come in, or the Mega Lopunny to come in, as it could easily come in and take advantage of Licky Licky. Protect on the return. He could have went for High Jump Kick there, would have been nice, but he reveals Drain Punch on the following turn as we hard switch out into our Fortress. Not a huge deal here. We could attack, but it's likely that he just brings in his Moltres. We don't want to get Flame Body burnt yet, so we're just going to throw up a Spike here and then hard switch out into our Licky Licky. We can take this on no problem, and he gets a burn. So this might not look terrible, but it's actually super, super unfortunate, because we now are not the best check to Magearna. With Earthquake being our best way to hit it, we're just not doing enough damage at this point, which is super duper unfortunate. However, he is going to go out to his Conkeldurrs here as we throw up a Wish, and we're going to throw off a Toxic here, and we're going to miss, which is super unfortunate, but what can you do? We're going to go for another Toxic here. We do land this turn, and he goes for Knockoff. So he's Nasty Plot, Knockoff, with what's his last few moves? I'm not sure yet. We're going to throw off a Wish here, and then switch accordingly. And yeah, he doubles, predicting our Fortress, and catches us here with the Moltres. He can easily Defog, or he can throw off a Flamethrower. He does go for the Defog as we get in Tapu Lele pretty comfortably here, and we can throw off a Psyshock as he goes out into his Conkeldurrs, and it does about 40%, just a little under 40%, so easily going to get a 2-hit KO here. But not going to risk it yet. Going to go out into Licky Licky here as he doubles into Magearna, and now this is where the burn comes into play. Earthquake is going to bounce off this Magearna, and Focus Blast is going to be able to 2-hit KO us. As you see there, Earthquake would have did around 35% or so. But yeah, just doing 15, so a little bit unfortunate there. I'm going to go out into Fortress to do the same, click the Earthquake, and we're kind of behind at this point. We can still potentially win, so no reason to be too concerned yet. We just got to play very, very carefully. And here we switch in our Tapu Lele on what ends up being a Flamethrower. And if we can get rid of Moltres, Fortress is doing pretty solid. But yeah, he keeps it safe. He keeps it safe. Switches out to his Conkeldurrs here. We're going to be able to knock that thing out with the 2-hit KO. as he goes into his McGarna here. We're not actually going to click taunt. We're just going to click the Nature's Madness to get him in range of Hidden Power Fire from Alakazam, or Choice Banded Knockoff from Sneasel, or Icicle Crash. I think the play is to Icicle Crash into Hidden Power Fire with Mega Alakazam. And yeah, we're just going to click that that Icicle Crash as he switches out, goes into his Nihilego now after stacking off the Mega Lopunny, and we're going to go into Fortress. We're going to reveal that he can't 2-hit KO us here, and he's going to hard switch into his Moltres as we click Earthquake once again. Now, I think the play was 100% to double into Alakazam on the Power Gem, or the expected switch out. Had I got my Mega Alakazam in here and started clicking Psychic, or Psyshock, then we would have been in a solid position. But he gets Moltres in again for free, so now he's able to roost up on our switch out. But he actually goes for Flamethrower, so a little bit of a misplay there. But I guess it works out because now Nihilego, if it's Choice Scarf variant, it can knock us out at this range, so that's pretty scary. So he goes into his McGarna, and now he's definitely in range of Hidden Power Fire, but he reveals to be Assault Vest, and he lives on a slither of HP. Knocks us out with the Flash Cannon, and now we're going to have to knock him out with our Sneasel here, with the knockoff, Choice Band knockoff, able to knock him out there. And now he brings in his Nihilego. We could have switched out there and hoped for like Choice Banded Ice Shard crits or something like that, but I don't think a crit would have knocked him out either. And that's going to be a good game to Rainbow Taco. He's going to pick up a 2-0 victory, and I think we move to 5-3 after this match. So that's going to be a nice quick first match here. We're going to be right back with week number 9 and have a nice little double whammy video, or battles for this video. So we'll be right back. Alright, so here we are with game 2, which is going to be our week number 9 match, and we're facing Korean Truth, aka Tony, coach of the Conkeldurrs. I forgot the first name. Yeah, it's something weird, but yeah, off the top of my head, I'm not going to be able to think of it. Anyways, he's got a very, very scary squad with some huge threats that he actually leaves on the bench at home. Things like Gliscor that can be very annoying. However, he does choose to bring the Tapu Koko, Alolan Persian, Mew, Crocodile, Salazzle, and the Mega Scizor. And we've decided to bring our Tapu Lele, Garchomp, Suicune, Fortress, Alolan Marowak, and our Mega Alakazam, where we're rocking a pretty fun squad here. We've got a timid, max speed, max HP Tapu Lele with Wise Glasses and the Psychic Surge, obviously. We have Calm Mind 3 attacks with Psychic, Moonblast, and Hidden Power Fire. After a Calm Mind, Hidden Power Fire should knock out Mega Scizor if it's max HP. If it's max Def, then it's not going to be knocked out after, just +1 with no special attack investment. But if it's just max HP, it should be able to knock him out, especially after a Psychic, if he's taking any kind of damage beforehand. This thing with +1 Moonblast knocks out Crocodile, knocks out Alolan Persian. +1 Psychic in the Psychic terrain knocks out Tapu Koko, unless it's like super bulky. Knocks out the Salazzle. And this thing can set up on Mew as long as it doesn't have any like super effective coverage versus me. So that's really nice. And if he's like a Calm Mind Psyshock Mew, he can 1v1 us, so that's something to look out for. Anyways, next up we've got Garchomp, which is going to be a sub SD Earthquake Dragonclaw Salicberry set. I love my sub Swords Dance Garchomps, especially with my Salicberry. Always nice to pull off, a super cool sweep like that or so. Thought about a Choice Scarf variant to outpace the Koko, catch it off guard with the Earthquake or something, but he could be Shuka, he could hard switch into a Alolan Persian or Crocodile and not take much anyway, so I felt like a Swords Dance variant would be nice to break through his team, especially if he brings like a bulky Scizor, a bulky Crocodile, or a bulky Mew without Ice Beam or something like that. Anyways, next up we've got Suicune, which is a max defense, max HP variant pretty much with 52 EVs and special defense. We've got Scald, Toxic, Roar, and Protect. This thing will phase out things like Suicune, Salazzle, Mew, Crocodile, throw off the Toxic, and not really mind what happens. I'm not like a not like a combine sweeper or anything like that. So if I catch a Mew with the toxic and it synchronizes with me, it's not the end of the world or anything, and should be able to play around it pretty okay. Next up, we've got a Max SPDF, Max HP, Spikes, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Rapid Spin variant for Fortress with the Akaberry and the Sturdy, so that we can take Hidden Power Fire or a Flamethrower, Fire Fang, whatever it may be, from Mew or Crocodile. We're not going to be able to tank anything from Salazzle, especially if it's any kind of offensive. But yeah, Earthquake can catch that thing on the switch in. Heavy Slam does the most to things like Mew and Alolan Persian, so on and so forth. This thing set up with Spikes behind my next Pokemon, which is Marowak's Stealth Rock. So Spikes and Stealth Rock's really nice. So we've got a Max HP, Max Defense, nearly Max Defense, excuse me. Suicune, we've got a Max HP, Max SPDF Fortress here, and last but not least, for our defensive core, we got a Max SPDF, Max HP Marowak with the Lightning Rod ability and the Cobra Berry, so that we can switch in on Coco pretty comfortably. Fairy type moves are resisted, lightning type moves are immune. And then if he brings Crocodile in versus me, if he doubles into Crocodile, expecting my Lightning Rod Marowak to come in versus his Coco, and he Pursuit Traps me, my Cobra Berry will pop, and I could potentially Will-O-Wisp him, in which if I switch out, I'll lose my Cobra Berry for no reason. But if I stay in and lose my Cobra Berry, and I'm able to Will-O-Wisp him, whether he pursuits or knocks off, that would be really nice for the rest of my Pokemon, especially Garchomp and Suicune, to just, not really mind what Crocodile goes for the rest of the match. But yeah, we have Shadow Bone, Fire Punch, Stealth Rock, and Will-O-Wisp on the Marowak. Will-O-Wisp, like I mentioned, for the Crocodile. You can catch the Alolan Persian as well upon switch in, and if he goes into the Mew and he gets burned, it can't synchronize versus me because I'm a Fire type. And Shadow Bone hits the Mew pretty hard. Fire Punch has the potential to burn if he switches in the Alolan Persian or the Crocodile versus this thing. And like I mentioned, my designated Stealth Rocker. Now, last but not least, we have a modest max special attack, 3 attacks substitute variant for Mega Alakazam. Reason being for substitute is so that we can't be potentially pursuit trapped by Crocodile, and so that we can't. Wait, no. I'm pretty sure that I changed this to Shadow Ball right before the game started, so that we're actually 4 attacks with Psychic, Dazzling Gleam, Hidden Power Fire, and Shadow Ball for the Mew, Dazzling Gleam for the Crocodile, the Alolan Persian, Psychic for everything else not named Scizor, and then the Hidden Power Fire for the Scizor. So yeah, that's going to be it, and we can go ahead and hop into the replay here and talk about what happens a little bit, I suppose. So he's going to lead off with his Mega Scizor, and we're going to lead off with our Tapu Lele. And the reason being for our Tapu Lele lead is his 2 potential Stealth Rockers are Mew and Crocodile, both of which Lele don't mind too much. Since I am Wise Glasses and Max HP, I can take a hit from Crocodile and potentially knock it out with Moonblast if he doesn't knock me off. Anyways, I'm just going to click the Hidden Power Fire here because Weakening Scizor is really nice for Mega Alakazam, and he can't Bullet Punch me here because of my ability with the Psychic Terrain up. Anyways, he U-turns out into his Alolan Persian, so this is a little bit problematic. We're going to stay in and go for the Moonblast though, as he actually parting shots out into his Mew. So we don't get much damage off because of the parting shot lowering our special attack, but we are able to get a little bit of information about this Mew, and he doubles out into his Mega Scizor, and we're going to throw off a Scald here, predicting him to roost up and see if we can catch a burn. Unfortunately, we don't get a burn, not too big of a deal. We can hard switch out into our Alolan Marowak now, and it's really nice because he doubles out into his Coco, or excuse me, he switches out into his Coco after he roosts up with his Mega Scizor. So now we're able to get our Stealth Rocks up, and he goes out into his Alolan Persian as we go for the Will-O-Wisp, and we're able to burn that thing as he throws off a Toxic versus us, predicting our switch of some sort. Anyways, we're going to go out into Fortress here, predicting, Toxic or a parting shot, whatever it may be, and we can just set up a Spike here. But he reveals Taunt, really nice play there, really good braying in my opinion. And we're going to double out into Alolan Marowak, because if he parting shots out, it still gives us our best matchup versus everything outside of Crocodile. But like I mentioned at the beginning of this half of the video, that I do have Will-O-Wisp on Marowak to catch this thing on a pursuit or a knockoff with my Cobra Berry and can will-o-wisp him. But unfortunately, as you can see there, I miss, and he doubles out into a Alolan Persian, or he not doubles, but he switches out into a Alolan Persian, not wanting to be burned, and knowing that his pursuit still can't knock me out at this range. Anyways, we're pretty much death fodder, so we're going to hard switch out to our Fortress here as he goes for the fake out, and now we have 1 sack for late in the game. And we're going to hard switch out into our Mega Alakazam as he goes out into Crocodile. A little bit unfortunate here. I know he's got the pursuit, so I'm actually going to stay in this turn as he goes for the knockoff, and my Trace intimidates him. So, my Trace intimidates him, makes knockoff not knock me out. Knowing that, I go for the Dazzling Gleam, predicting him to click pursuit on my switch out. Since Dazzling Gleam doesn't knock him out. Had I went for Focus Blast there and knocked him out, that would have been really nice. But yeah, I'm going to hard switch out into Garchomp here. Rough Skin will put him in range of another hit of Rough Skin. So at this point, I'm just going to click Substitute again, figuring him to switch out and save that thing. If he has Defog on Mew, he could potentially get rid of Hazards, or he could potentially be Ice Beam or Will-O-Wisp on Mew. But yeah, I'm going to click Swords Dance behind a sub now as he sacks off his Mega Scizor to the Earthquake. And I'm going to go for the Earthquake here versus the Alolan Persian. I get a critical hit here, and he's a little bit bummed out about that, but I am a +2 Garchomp, and he was burned, so I'm not sure like how much that crit mattered. I don't know if he would have lived +2 Earthquake anyway. Had he lived, and on the following turn, he could have clicked Foul Play, but I could switch out to Fortress once again, and he's losing recovery every turn. It was a win-win for me. Like, it was going to be tough for him to come back out of that anyway. Anyways, he's forced to bring in his Coco here, and we're going to hard switch out into our Fortress, expecting the Dazzling Gleam to come out, and predicting him to go out into Salazzle. We're going to go for an electric type move. We're going to go out into our Alolan Marowak. We are max HP, max def. I don't know if that overheat would have actually knocked us out, but seeing that he's locked into overheat, potentially locked in anyway, we're going to go out into Suicune. Regardless, he will get a special attack drop, and he's forced to switch out here. He goes into the Mew as we're able to double out into our Mega Alakazam. And here we can click Shadow Ball, or we can click Psychic. We're going to click Shadow Ball, predicting him to potentially defog for Salazzle and Crocodile. And we're going to be able to pick up a 2-hit KO here with Shadow Ball. Unfortunately, he is able to Pursuit Trap us here, but Pursuit Trapping us here allows Garchomp or Suicune to come in pretty comfortably. And I'm going to bring in Garchomp as he goes for the Pursuit, and he actually gets a critical hit here, which puts us out of range to make a substitute. But at the same time, he gets knocked out. So had we predicted him to stay in and go for the Pursuit there, we could have clicked Sub. And had he not gotten the crit, that would have been really nice. But we didn't make the sub play anyway, so the crit doesn't necessarily matter, besides putting us a whole lot lower than we should be. Anyways, and maybe putting us in range of the attack Salazzle just went for. Anyways, Suicune can come in here. I'm going to double out to Fortress, expecting his Coco to come in. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click Earthquake, and we catch the Salazzle on the come in after the Volt Switch. He knocks out our Fortress here. So what we need here is a Alolan Marowak to put him in range of Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele can still live 1 hit because we're max HP. So I need this thing to put us in range of Lele, and that looks like it could potentially be in range of Lele. He looks to be locked into Thunderbolt though, so we're actually going to be able to get 2 hits off on him, and we got a defense drop on one of them, I think. Anyways, with our max HP, we're able to live this Thunderbolt on 4%, and Tapu Lele is going to come through in the end. But yeah, it's going to be that. That's going to be 2 battles there, so that's pretty nice. We lost the first one, we won the second one. 1-1, 50-50, not bad. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field for both games. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching.